Welcome to today's episode where we're going to be talking about the most important step to becoming an abundance magnet that you and probably most people are not aware of. And if we haven't met yet, my name is Fran Lopsha. Next to me is the badass Russian Kat Vasilnikov. And we are co-founders of Beach Boss Influencers, where we help network marketers and entrepreneurs to brand themselves and build badass businesses online.
So to get started, I want to ask everyone a question. Would you like to manifest your dream life without hustling and grinding, like what we call it, being in that hamster wheel? And I understand that you have to take action to change your life. But a lot of times we focus so much on the steps, on the strategies, on the action. And I'm guilty as well. I'm the doer. I'm going to go and do 20% harder than everyone else because that's how I was brought up. Um, Basically, it's in my DNA. It was really hard to realize that working harder is not going to get me successful fast. Success is, I realized, once I actually realized that success is not the result of hard work, success is actually the primal reason. You have to become successful inside first, and then the results will come. So when I realized that success is the inside job and start focusing more on working on myself, my results completely changed. So I'm going to repeat my questions. Who would like to learn how to manifest and achieve the results that you want without the constant grind? And it's actually exhausting. It's very exhausting and it depletes your energy. And even if you get those results, you don't have the energy to enjoy that life, that success, right? So, what's the point? Becomes meaningless. And you can look at many rich, successful people, successful, if you can call them that way, right? They have a lot of money, but they don't feel successful. They don't feel abundant. They don't feel wealthy because it's just not that state of being, right? So let's talk about what is the most important step that most people actually not aware of, or they're aware of, but they ignore it. And it's very crucial to become that magnet for abundance, for success, for wealth. So let's talk about what is that step? Why everyone not taking it seriously, but it's very simple, and how it affect your abundance and the speed of your results.
I actually have a little story to tell first. I grew up with especially my mother, working hard all her life. I remember to this day we would have lunch on a Saturday, roast dinner on a Sunday, roast lunch on a Sunday. Like always tradition, we would have often roast chicken or roast beef or whatever on a Sunday, and then as soon as we had finished eating, Mum would get up from the table and said, "I have to go work." She would always be working. She would be working 5 days a week, Saturday, Sunday, every day she was working. And so I grew up with this mindset that I should be working. I should always be working hard. When I retired from dentistry, and quite a few years later, when I'd met Brandy, and this is a funny story and it's a silly story, but it is the truth, is I saw Brandy Shaver as being highly successful. She was highly successful. And on a call one day, she happened to show her calendar. And I saw her calendar was absolutely packed, like jam-packed, like there wasn't any space. There wasn't any time for anything. It was literally solid every single day. And so oh, look at that. So going back to, the mindset that I'd grown up with, that you should be working hard. If you want to see money, if you want to see success, you got to work hard. Um, I immediately thought, okay, well, I need to fill my calendar. And so I filled my calendar with calls, with, you know, mentoring people, with, like, literally it was solid, jam packed full. And what happened? Everything went backwards, number one. Number two, I was exhausted.
Burnout.
I was burnt out. I felt like I was on that hamster wheel, hustling, 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 and results weren't coming. So let me know if you can relate to that. I would love to know if you can relate to that, because if you can relate to that feeling, like, if I just work harder, if I just keep working harder, if I get on more calls, if I do more, if I keep doing more, I will see the success. I will see the wealth. But are you seeing the freedom? Because generally, it's not the money that we want as much as the freedom.
So true.
The freedom to do what we want, to go where we want, to do with our time with what we want. And when you are in that energy, the money comes.
Absolutely.
But we don't generally want more money. We want freedom to be able to choose what we want, do what we want, when we want, where we want, with whom we want.
And a lot of times, looking at this story, friend, I want to add that we assign a meaning to working hard um, as our self worth. That's what I was feeling. If I'm not working hard, I'm not worthy of success. I'm not worthy of the results of successful people. That's what I thought. You have to hustle. You have to have a 5 a.m. morning 3 hour routine or whatever. I mean, discipline is important as well, but it doesn't mean that you have to hustle and grind. So I want to shift gears and reveal finally what is that step that everyone ignores when it comes to attracting your desired outcome, whatever it is, big or small. There's no limitations in the universe what it can deliver. So, and this step is acceptance. And people either don't know about it, or they know and they just don't take it seriously, or like, oh yeah, I accept where I'm at, but not really. So what happens when you are, a lot of times we actually want to change something in our life because we're not happy where we at, and it's completely normal. In fact, we will never be 100% satisfied where we at. It's a part of human nature. Like, we need to have that drive, we need to have that goal and purpose to move somewhere, because if we stop moving, we're dying, right? So energy has to be moving all the time in order for us to be alive. So it's totally normal to want something different, to have a goal, a purpose, and drive. But in order for us to align with that success energy, with that badass abundance energy, the first very important and crucial step is to fully accept and honor. I guess the magic word is honor, where you at right now.
Mhm.
Even it doesn't look ideal, even if it looks like a mess. Even your emotions are, negative, and it's hardship, it's challenging. Fully accepting and honoring it, it's making peace with where you're at, and it releases that neediness, that
Mhm.
negativity, like, instantly. And once you release that energy of lack, the energy of I'm not good enough, my life is a disaster, immediately, like instantly, you move into the higher energy and higher vibration. So it's very important to accept anything that life throw you, right? Especially like your present moment. That's where life is happening right now. So whatever you're looking at right now, you look around, right? Maybe your bank account is not where you want it to be. Maybe your job is not what you thought, where you would be in your career, your relationship or whatever. You look around, you see where you at and accept it with respect and honor. Perfect divine creation. And you are the one who created it. And another key step of moving forward is stop blaming anyone and anything and take full responsibility
For where you're at.
where you at in life. And once you do that, what happens? You claim the power. You take that power back to yourself instead of giving it to people or circumstances or experiences that you're blaming on for being unfortunate. So stop blaming the government. Stop blaming your parents or your spouse or your neighbors or whoever else or the rain or the traffic. You can't control those things. You only can control what you feel and think about it.
And how you react to what is happening around you.
So take full responsibility and accept and honor where you're at in life. And only then, like this has to happen before, before anything else. And only then you will be able to move into a higher energy frequencies, vibrations, and to start attracting things that you truly desire. Until then, nothing's going to happen. You can meditate for 5 hours in mountains, whatever, with Buddhist monks, but nothing will change.
I want to add to that. It's not only accepting where you're at, but loving yourself for where you're at too.
This is part of it, actually.
That's a huge part of it.
Once you accept it, you will
You
love
will love
yourself
yourself.
for coming this far.
I know for a long time I would think, okay, well, I would accept where I'm at, but I wouldn't love myself
Yeah.
for being there. I wouldn't love myself wherever I'm at. And it's also is accepting. It's not only accepting your circumstances, accepting that, but accepting your body too. Because I'm the first to admit that I have beaten myself up with my physical form forever.
And look at you. You're absolutely gorgeous.
I think it comes from years of not accepting myself,
Yeah. Trying to
trying
live up
to
to the society standards
yeah,
that were
and trying
written
to
by who?
yeah, and like,
Barbies?
well, but my thighs are much bigger than everybody else's, and like this, and then you get to a certain age, and the muffin top gets bigger because your body doesn't work the way it used to work, and instead of beating yourself up, instead of hating yourself because of the way you look, and let me know if you can relate to that. Like, if you can relate to this, let me know. I would love to hear because Kat knows me. I'm the first to always,
And the cool part is you will be falling into that paradigm, that way of thinking, because we've been thinking that way since we were born. That's kind of like engraved into us by society. Even if we don't want to think that way, we do because this is the programming of the society. And it's very easily to slip back into that way of thinking, but you need to be aware of it and just catch yourself, just like friends doing right now. Said, I know I'm doing it. But that's the magic, to know that you're doing it and shift into self acceptance and self love.
it's that awareness of it, and then thinking, okay, I'm doing it again. because you will find yourself slipping back into this all the time with everything, with everything that you are not accept, whether it is your financial circumstances, whatever it is, whatever you're frustrated at. If you find yourself slipping back into it, that awareness is the first thing, okay? That you become aware of it, and then you think, okay, hang on, check yourself, accept where you're at, love yourself. I literally had coffee this morning with a dentist friend of mine that I used to work with. Goodness, like, I don't know, 20 years, no, not 15 years ago. Okay. And I haven't seen her for ages. And we started talking about, one of the dental nurses that she's very friendly with, and she said, and if you could just see her, she's like tiny, she's skinny. She said, and you're just like, immediately you go into that comparitis that you do. It's natural. It's social media, and everything is, partly to blame for that.
Well, we should blame ourselves first.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we'll let it
Well, because
affect
we're
us.
letting it
Yes.
influence us.
Yeah.
We're letting it actually come in,
Control
and
our life,
yeah,
literally.
yeah.
So I have a magical question for those who trying to lose weight. Since we already went into, body image and extra weight, I think we all at times want to be a few pounds lighter, right? So the magical question I want you to ask yourself, if you're on the journey of a weight loss, do I want to lose weight because I hate my body or because I love my body and I want it to be healthy? So if the answer is, and be honest, if the answer is it's because I hate my body, no matter what you do, what diet or surgery or magic potion lotion, infrared, laser, whatever,
Nothing will
it will
shift.
work for a little bit, but then you'll gain back all the weight and more because you're not in the right energy. So if you want to lose weight easily, almost like effortlessly, you need to do it out of love to yourself, to your body, to where you're at in life. Honor and accept every inch and ounce of you. That's it.
Yeah.
And you will notice that I actually had that experiment. I eat and do exact same things and I lose weight when I'm in acceptance and love and honor of myself.
When you're in lack and scarcity and hating yourself, feeling like a victim, feeling.
Because here's the secret to it all. Like it's the secret to it all. To get in anything that you want. Energy carries information.
Mhm.
Period. Whatever energy you generate, it carries information into the field, giving you more of that. That's it. That's a simple simplicity. I'm always fascinated how simple everything works in nature and in life, and we are the ones who overcomplicate it, or it can be that simple. Let me go and work hard because it can't be that simple. It is that simple. What is the first step that you're going to start with if you want to manifest a different life? And we actually have a very cool um, freebie for you guys that we personally created. It's called the Money Magnet Blueprint, where we share our personal techniques how to start generating that badass energy so you can attract whatever you want in life.
Awesome. Until next time, I'd love to hear what your takeaway's been. Let us know, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us. Bye, everyone.
Bye.